Now, if you're just reading the title and you don't really know what I'm talking about, this probably won't make sense, so I'm going to explain it in the easiest way possible. Let's just start with the basics. At its core, Blue Lock is an anime about a bunch of players getting better at soccer to become the #1 striker in the world. They go through this intense training program where they compete with and against each other. Now, the entire basis of the show is set on having an ego.
You can't possibly become the world's best striker unless you're also the world's biggest egoist.
The characters in the show need this ego. Without it, they cannot reach their limits, they cannot get to the goals they are setting. Now, the problem with having such a huge ego while playing soccer is that you can jeopardize your entire team's success just because you wanted to take a shot. And now that we have the basis of Blue Lock set, let's set the basis of Valorant. Valorant, also a simple concept, it's a 5v5 tactical FPS where your main goal is to either plant the bomb, defuse the bomb, or simply just kill all of the bad guys. Also, everyone has literal superpowers. But besides that, you just have to work as a team to complete a goal, and in this game, working as a team makes everything way easier. Now, if we take a quick look at the obvious facts, a tactical FPS and an anime about football should not ever cross paths. There is almost no correlation between the two, except you're playing with a team. Now, here's where the problem actually starts. Now, out of all the games I have played, I feel like Valorant has the most easily impressionable fan base of all time. These people will eat up literally anything you put in front of them. It is really bad. Between the Valorant accent and like TikTok sage walls, it's really bad. And because of this point, things really start to add up. I was reading the Blue Lock manga before the anime got announced, and I thought the concept was just so cool. I was waiting for the anime, I couldn't wait. But my god, when the anime came out, it was way more popular than I expected. I mean, it was literally everywhere on the internet. Everyone was loving it. The whole idea of the egos, it was just amazing. I was enjoying all of it until I'll say about episode 7 or 8 when I was playing Valorant and I started noticing more Asagis, Baros, all of these Blue Lock names. I'm like, that's actually pretty dope. At least that was until I realized how these people were acting in the game. These guys genuinely thought they were the characters that they named their accounts after. It was so bad, and it's still bad now. And obviously, duelist players were the ones affected by this the most. I mean, these Jets, Reynas, Razes, they're just swinging everything thinking they're going to get a one-tap. They're dashing in on site without talking to their team and just getting absolutely throttled, and then the rest of the team is just left to die. These kids are blasting Brazilian funk into their eardrums, ignoring everything and just thinking they're the GOAT and thinking they're Asagi, piecing the field together and just absolutely being better than everybody else around them. Obviously, this was not true 99% of the time. Though a lot of duelist players, I won't say a lot, though many duelist players have an ego already, this just made it a little bit worse, and a little bit goes a long way in Valorant. Though now we have to talk about the banana. If you're deep into Valorant, you probably know I'm talking about woohoojin. He's a pretty good coach. He's someone I actually watched to get better. However, around the time Blue Lock started airing, he took a very, very deep liking to it. At first, I kind of noticed he kept talking about ego and devouring and things like that. And then he started putting like the ego eyes in his thumbnails, and I thought that was pretty cool. But you have to remember, this guy is a coach for pretty much every rank. Now, I'm not blaming woohoojin for this. However, he is an accomplice. Like, he did a little bit of damage, a little bit. The one I can remember most clearly is when he's talking about baiting. Now, baiting as its core, as an overall definition, would probably just be letting your teammate die for your own personal gain. Now, the reason baiting is so negative usually is because if you bait somebody and they die and the person gets out, you look absolutely terrible as a teammate. I think his advice was actually amazing, and I was watching some of his videos recently and his advice was actually good, like the ones I was watching anyway. Now, woohoojin tries to explain how to bait healthily in ranked. He explains that there is actually a good way to bait your teammates in a... Are you serious? He explains that there's actually a good way to bait your teammates in a way that'll be better for you and your entire team. However, if someone took this advice and tried to use it in game, but they don't really completely understand what he meant, he would just end up baiting his team without doing anything, and it's pretty much a full 360. He also goes on to explain, and I'm not sure if it's the same video or other videos, but he explains that you kind of have to use your teammates as pawns. There are actually a lot of times where this is true and this is actually beneficial, but when you have some plat or diamond player who thinks they're the GOAT and base their entire team every single round, it gets a little annoying, and you can kind of see where these problems are stemming from. Now, thankfully, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, the light being that the season ended. And once the season of Blue Lock finished, less of this was happening. People were not actively seeking out this anime because it was not fresh, it was not airing, and balance has been restored. However, you can still find these people in your games today. And I know this because I'm only making this video because of a raise I had earlier that reminded me of this video idea. His name was Asagi, and he didn't listen to anything, and I still like that guy. Shout out to him.